What's going on, guys? Patrick back from Yin Yang Zing. So I'm a couple days late on this deck profile, and I'm really sorry about that. Lots of stuff going on, had date night with the wife, the important stuff had to happen. But now we're back, and better than ever. And I'm bringing you today my Orcust deck profile. Like I said at the beginning, this is my favorite deck to play in the current format. It's probably one of my favorite decks of all time. I've really enjoyed it so much. So we're going to jump right into the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy. And we're going to start with the Orcust lineup. The Orcust lineup is 2 copies of Symbols, or of Harp Horror. Harp Horror is super, super good. You banish it from the graveyard to activate its effect, and it will special summon another Orcust monster from your deck. Typically, your target is going to be the Symbol Skeleton. Symbol Skeleton, you run 2 of. Symbol Skeleton will let you revive any Orcust monster. Super, super, super awesome. Just for the combos later on, going through those in the video. So I'm not going to go through all of the combos in this. I'm not going to do a combo tutorial. But, continuing with the Orcust monsters, it's 2 copies of Orcust Nightmare. If you guys would like to see a combo video, make sure to leave a like. If we hit 20 likes on this video, I will go through the combo tutorial. There's 1 card and 2 card and 3 card combos. So, 2 Orcust Nightmares. This is a Foolish Burial for your Orcust, for your machine monsters. It's a really powerful card in this deck especially. And lastly is 1 copy of World Legacy's World Wand. So Nightmare, a point of reference, is Nightmare can send any machine monster from your deck to the graveyard. But it also increases the attack of a targeted monster by 100 points for each level. So Wand is a level 8. It's 800 extra points. It does help you get over some problematic monsters if you can't go into other certain plays. So that's it for the Orcust monsters. But not it for the monsters. Now we're into the 1-card combos. And the 1-card combos are simple. 3 copies of Nightmare Corruptor Ibly. Ibly is amazing. If you're playing against strikers and you're going second, this will stop them from doing anything. You will link it away, or they have to target it with Widow Anchor first. And either way, you win. Because you'll be able to use your extenders and stuff to get through to 1 card out to their boards, because they have to take it. Really powerful stuff. And then the other one is 3 copies of Phantom Skyblaster. This card is insane in this deck. You will see why if we get those likes. So like it up. But this card is great because it gives you tokens. If you open it in an extender, you open 4 monsters on board, which lets you do a myriad of crazy, silly shenanigans. That's it for the 1-card combos. Now we're on to the Destrudo package, which is 3 Destrudo, the Lost Dragon's Fission, and for the Dragon Shrine Foolish, you're also running 1 copy of Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. It is literally there as just an extender. If you open Destrudo, you just, and a way to send it, it just gives you a way to, another card you can summon out of the deck. Next up is 3 copies of Danger Mothman. So, these are the extenders. 3 copies of Mothman. These are the poor man's dangers. So that's all I'm running are the poor man ones. I'm actually saving up. I'm hopefully going to be buying Chupacabras, Bigfoots, and Thunderbirds here soon. But until then, we have 3 Dogman. Dogman's super good. It lessens the attack if it's discarded, which actually does come up clutch if you're playing against things like trains, as an example, or other decks that have a lot of power on board. This will help you get over them. And then the final combo extender is going to be 3 copies of Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. That's because I just don't have enough dangers for it. Super powerful. Alright, now we're on to the Phantom Knights package, the Warrior package, if you will. So it's 2 copies of Silent Boots, 1 copy of Ancient Cloak. You want to send this, but if you open it, you want to be able to, you'll have a way to discard it typically, so that's useful that way. Silent Boots is part of the combo. You actually don't use it as link material in this combo anymore, and it's really strong. So that's it for the Phantom Knights. And then the final monster is 1 copy of Dark Greffer. Dark Greffer is Dark Greffer. You'll notice that I'm not playing Armageddon Knight. Armageddon Knight just, in my opinion, didn't do enough for the deck. Next up is 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Now, you don't have to run these necessarily, but this version can be weak to hand traps depending. This card will help bypass a lot of your problems. Next up is the Dragon Shrine package. So 2 Dragon Shrine, 1 Foolish. If you don't open Destrudo, you want to open one of these. You're running 6 copies of Destrudo, so you want to make sure you get it in the grave as quickly as you possibly can. To help you dig for those combo pieces that you desperately need, 2 copies of Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness is everything's dark, so it's free. Next up is 1 Orchestrated Babble. This just turns all your Orcust monsters' effects into quick effects while they're on the field and in the graveyard. Super powerful stuff. And finally, your PK spells and traps. You want to run 3. In my opinion, 3 is the perfect number, and here's why. If you open this, then you have 2 targets to search with your monsters. If you open this, you have both of these to search, and you have a free extra negate. If you open this, then you could search both of these, and then you're still ending a combo. So if you open one, you're ending a lot stronger, but you want to be able to use all the searching possible. So that's it for the main deck. I believe it's 42 cards. It's a really, really good number for this deck. It's very hard to brick with. Normally I can end on pretty solid boards, even if I don't open the main combo. So next up is the Orcust Link Monsters, which is 1 Galatei, 1 Lungirsu, 1 Orcustrian. Orcustrian is super powerful. If something happens to where they hit Boral Sword, this is a very solid second-in-command Link 4 that you want to have. It's super powerful. What it'll do is any monster that's linked that your opponent controls, its effects are negated, and their attack and defense go to 0. Super, super strong. Really can hurt your opponent. Lungirsu is non-targeting sending, and Galatei searches an Orcust spell or trap. This card will be super important once the Climax comes out, but they each... so Galatei returns 1 Banished Machine, Lungirsu returns 2, and Orcustrian does 3. So they're typically live. Next up is 2 copies of Nightmare Mermaid. Mermaid is what you're going to go into the most. You want to have 2 as recovery plays can need be, or if one of them gets ashed or something like that happens. Next up are 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus. I don't have Unicorn, so that's one reason to not run it. But 2, these 2 are super powerful in their own respects. Back row removal, main monster zone removal can be really helpful in clutch situations. Wee Witch's Apprentice, generic Link 2, you will use it occasionally. Next are your Link 3, so 1 Summon Sorceress, 1 Rusty Bard, and 1 Topologic Trisbania. These are your generic Link 3s. Summon Sorc is part of the combo, that's part of the combo. This is for back row decks. And then the last Link monster is Boral Sword Dragon. Now, it's 15 cards, right? Right. Well, this is only 12 of them. So here are the final ones. Let's start with the Exceeds monsters, Evil Sworth Thantos, and Outer Entity Azathoth. Easy for me to say. Tongue twister tonight. Jeez. Thantos will protect itself, but you're basically just getting rid of its materials as quickly as possible so you can use this on your opponent's turn. It's super mean because you set up a board, you control your opponent out of being able to play the game for turn 1, and then turn 2 you kill him, and this is why it's super strong. I was finding that the Pankratops was becoming an issue. So I lurked high and long and far, climbed mountains and talked to sages, and then I found this card and I was like, oh, I wasted all my time doing all that stuff. Cyber's Quantum Dragon. Hold on. We're going to zoom in a little bit. And that's my daughter in the background. Cyber's Quantum Dragon. If you don't have this card yet, pick one up. This card is super, super strong. It's about $6. What this card does is it protects your other monsters from being targeted. So your opponent can't use things like Widow Anchor, things like Afterburners, things like that. They can't target anything but it. Super powerful. On top of that, if your opponent attacks when it attacks or is attacked, it can bounce the monster back to the hand, and then it can attack again. So if your opponent has a really big monster, you attack it, and your opponent can't target anything but it for attacks as well. So you'll attack it, bounce it back to the hand, and then once it bounces back to the hand, it can attack again. Super powerful, super mean. Next up is the side deck. The side deck is pretty simple. It's just basically for certain deck hates. So it depends on what you're playing against, but let's head it off with 3 copies of Ash Blossom. If you're forced to go second, you want to have something to stop certain decks. It's the most generic cantrip. It's good against a lot of decks. After Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is going to be 3 copies of the lovely Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird is super powerful in the respect that Danger Thunder Dragon pretty much shuts down their turn against the Guard Dragon decks. It shuts down their turn. It's a really powerful card in this format, especially with all the draw cards. Next up, for the last 2 monsters, is 2 copies of Pankratops. This is for the mirror match, and for any other Azathoth Turbo decks, just take away the target. Next up is 2 copies of Twin Twisters. This is for back row decks. That's the decks that give us the most problems are like things like Altergeist. That's why you also side 2 copies of Red Reboot. We side a lot of back row hate because back row can really hurt this deck. And the last card is 3 copies of Eradicator Epidemic Virus. EEV is super duper powerful. I cannot believe that they brought it back to 3. If you're playing Altergeist, you flip this, you call Traps. GG, they're done. You flip this versus Sky Striker, you call Spell. GG, they're done. You know, it's super powerful. Normally you'll be hitting spell cards with it, but sometimes you'll be hitting traps. It just depends on the matchup, but it's super good against those decks. And that, guys, is going to wrap up my Orcust deck profile. I'm really having a lot of fun with this deck. It's super, super fun to play. It does have a learning curve. Anybody that tells you, oh, this is a simple deck, is lying to you. It takes some time to learn the combos and how the deck works. But if you want to see that combo tutorial and that combo video on how to do 1-card, 2-card, and 3-card combos, I will be happy to show you. All you need to do is leave a comment in the comment section below. Leave a like. Let's get 20 likes on this video. We're not aiming to kill the world. We're just looking to set it on fire. The goal for this is by the 28th of the month. So let's hit 20 likes by the 28th, and you guys will get those combo tutorials. But that's just me getting ready to sign out. So this has been Patrick from Yin Yang Zing. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.